Morning, everyone. Just to start, anybody new to the trading room, I just want to mention it is a trading room. It's not a class in the way the stock market college has it. It's where we discuss practical trading ideas and we go through various fundamentals and share. It's like a forum where we share it together. Any questions? As always, please, as Anna Marie's done, just post on the chat line, or you can just chat if you like, unmute and interact with me. Okay, so we're here to help, and it's up to you guys just to ask questions. If I can, I'll assist. If I don't know, I'll pass on to someone who does know. Okay, so basically it's a trading room, forum, a community, if you like, and it's not just, what you call it, it's not an alternative to the stock market college classes or the learning management system they have there, just so everyone bears that in mind. Okay. All right, we're going to start 9:30 as usual. As I say, we have brand new people, intermediates, more experienced people, doesn't matter. We're all pulling together. So if you're not sure of something, or I go through something a little bit quicker than I should do, and you want to just go over it again, please do so. And then, yeah, we're all here. We all started at one stage ourselves, so we're all here to kick the same goal post. Okay, or goal, not goal post, goal rather. Okay, 9:30 we're starting, so I'm just going to share the chart now. Hope you can all see it. If you can't, just tell me, and hopefully, obviously, you can all hear me. Okay, right. Give it another minute, and then we can start. Good stuff. Thanks, Anna. Okay, that's clear the trading idea that came out. Morning, Pietro, etc. Yeah, just going to wait another few seconds till 9:30, then we can get started. Monica Giso or Vincent. Yeah. Okay, right, 9:30, let's get started. Okay, we got a trade idea out as a sell at 1.7. It's gone up 4 pips, as it will do when the trade actually goes out. Anyway, I hope it comes together. The idea behind it was a bit of a range trade, and just on the day chart, you can see it's a bit of a range trade here. I did in the buy zone, but feeling that it's, shall we say, the pound's a little bit overbought, and the oil's gone up a little bit, so we see a little bit of strength of Canadian coming in, and the range trade was the idea behind it. Hopefully it works out. It's quite an aggressive one, fairly tight stop. So if it works out, great. If it doesn't, well, the stop's pretty tight, so it won't be too much of a bad deal if it doesn't. Okay, so there it is. All the information's on the MT5 mailbox, or sent out a little bit earlier by myself to the guys on the VIP group. Talking of which, I think most of you are on it, but if you have £2,500 or $150 or more, and you want to be uploaded to the VIP group where you get daily signals and updates and things like that, let me know. And WhatsApp me. I'll just put the number down here, and then we can take it from there. You've all got my number, but I'll just put it down anyway, just to start off with. Okay, now I just want to warn you, we can go through Q&As and stuff like that today, because I think it's going to be pretty quiet. Powell, the chairman of the Fed, just get these guys in here. A lot of you will be aware of it, but if you're not, I'm saying he is doing the interest rate decision tonight at 8 o'clock our time. That's almost certainly a 40% increase is expected. They don't like stuff in the market around, but you never know, he might have to, whatever. The point is, afterwards, the Q&A session, so just bear that in mind. Yeah, it could have a bit of a whipsaw effect. The market's pretty quiet today. It's not exactly jumping around much because it is quite like when it comes out with these interest rate decisions, overwhelmingly important in the US, almost like how the world economy is going to react to it. So it's going to be fairly quiet, waiting to see what he says. So just bear in mind, it might be a pretty quiet session trade-wise, movement-wise, volatility-wise. So we can use it, if you like, the Q&A session where we can sort of just hone the skills or repeat again because you've forgotten, or repeat several times till it becomes muscle memory. What point are we currently having at it's simply because the Canadian, I think, is a bit undervalued. It's still a successful economy. It's got a lot of resources, particularly oil, and I think for that reason, I think it's a little bit undervalued. It does tend to follow the States a little bit, more than a little bit at times. So I think it's going to strengthen a little bit from here. That's the idea before looking at the chart. The pound is having quite a few economic problems there. So basically, I thought there'd be a sell for a range trading perspective, even though it's in the buy zone. And it hasn't broken above that for the last few days. So I'm hoping it's going to come off. We shall see. But it's quite an aggressive trade, to be fair. Tight stop, tight TP, see how it comes out. Okay.
Roger, what I'm actually meaning with it is we are also in a Canadian Australian and Canadian New Zealand dollar trade. So we have 3 trades with the Canadian.
Good point. Good point. Good fact. Good point. I'll concentrate on today's trade, etc. Thanks for a reminder there. What Ivan's saying, guys, you don't want to be overexposed in one currency. I'd rather put that. I hope that all makes sense. You don't want to have US dollar, Swiss franc, US dollar yen, US dollar GBP, US dollar Aussie dollar, whatever. You're overexposed US dollar. So it means that if something goes wrong with the Canadian, you've got like 3 own positions on that Canadian. Very good point. Actually, it's a very good point. I do beg your pardon. Right, we've got the NZD CAD, AUD CAD, now the GBP CAD. Very good point. I'm going to be honest, I forgot about that. I was concentrating on the particular trade. That's the only one we've come up with, and it looked okay. But from that point of view, if you're in, that's fair enough. But going forward, just bear that in mind. I've made a very valid point. Even if it looks like a good trade, it's not always a great idea to be overexposed in one instrument. Okay, hope that makes sense. Too many egos, too many egos in one basket. Too many eggs in one basket, yeah. Well, we're going to the Euro CAD as well for a buy. It was mentioned earlier on this morning by Gerard. That would be the 4th one. So from that point of view, I'd be a bit wary. But now you're aware of it, you can make your own judgment. That's the whole point. It's like anything else. As long as you're aware of the facts, then you can make the decision whether to go in again or not. If you weren't aware of it, that could cause a problem. So brilliant reminder. Thank you. Right, Euro CAD. Gerard mentioned this morning, he thought there might be some upside here. I have to be honest, I said I wasn't sure about that. I was going to leave it alone. It's right on the weekly, on the highs there. It seems to be holding on the 200-week moving average. On the daily moving average, it is in the buy zone. Remember, it's below the 100-day, but it's above the 50 and the 200. Very important. If you haven't got them, get those moving averages on there. They act as a filter and support resistance. Very important. especially the blue, which is the 50, and the brown, which is the 200-day simple moving average. The world use them extensively, so it's easy. It makes life a lot easier rather have them. So he thought of a buy. Now, I sat on the fence on that one. I wasn't sure. Seems to be trying to break up, but I'm not confident enough. And now, as a reminder, and the 1 hour, as a reminder there, to be honest, from Ivan there, I wouldn't go for it anyway, because, as I say, we got 3 trades out in the Canadian, a 4th and really overexposed. That being as it may, you got in, what's it now, 9:30. You called me about an hour or so ago, maybe 2 hours ago. So you would have got in around about 9, 8, round about these levels here. So you decided, and this is where you get more experience. I've done it a little bit. He's more experienced. He said, I hear you, Roger, running it by you. I'm going to make my own decision, and I think I'll still go in. In other words, he's using this, but he still knows he's in control and he's responsible for his own trading, which is great. A trading idea is what it is. If you don't agree with it, great. If you're in the trade room, we discuss. I think it's a short for this reason. I don't agree with your buy. That's fantastic. Not fantastic, but you know what I mean? It's a democracy. We have different opinions, and we don't do cancel culture here. So that's great. So he went on, and it seemed to be doing okay at the moment. On the 1 hour chart, it seems to be looking quite positive. So well done. But I'm still going to sit on the fence on that one. And even more so now, because we've got 3 cans out already. A 4th might be pushing it. Hope all good with that. Anyone, any questions on that? I'll split the games. I'll like it. No, you keep them all, because I was sitting the fence. So give them to charity, don't give them to me. But anyway, if anybody says, Sonny, I still like it, you want to look at buying it, the RR up, but I'm suggesting leave it alone. Obviously, you can do that if you want. Okay, right. Any questions on that? We're all right. Euro GBP for a sell. Now I'm on the 1 hour chart, so it didn't take me a hell of a lot at the moment. Go back to the daily. Where Pietro is coming from there is, that's why I'm using these moving averages. Below the 50, it's below the 200. So I say that's in the weak or the sell zone or whatever. Would you buy in the sell zone or sell in the strong zone? Absolutely. I'd sell in the buy zone and sell in the buy zone and buy in the sell zone if it looks like the thing's overcooked, overbought, overvalued, or undervalued. Come to that. So otherwise, at the moment, it looks like it's certainly not undervalued because it's not down here. It's popped up. The euro is a little bit on the weak side at the moment. And as you can see here, it's in the sell zones below the 50 and the 200. And there's a bit of support here. You see that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, about 8 or 9 little areas of support resistance. It's tried to break through. You can see the wick there, maybe a bit clear if I zoom in a bit. And the sells have come in. So it's defending at the moment. And that, I'm assuming, that's why he came up with the suggestion. Okay, looking, what's the stop loss up here from the daily? Wow. Can we put it up here? That's too far away. Maybe up here, 80 pips, something like that. And then the problem is it might have to be an aggressive one. So let's have a look at the weekly. We'll get too carried away. The weekly, you know. The weekly, it's got a bit of resistance on the 100-week here, okay? But you'd have to. Second here, jumping around on me. Okay, you're going to have to use the weekly for a stop loss. You're going short down this area here or this area here. Yeah, you'd have to use that as a stop loss. Now it hasn't been there since August last year. We're talking a year ago. That's my worry on this one. And it hasn't broken through on the weekly. Go back to the daily. If you want to look at it, we'll have to use a 4 hour for an aggressive trade. What we're looking at, yeah, actually, it's not looking bad on the 4 hour. Maybe a stop loss here on the 4 hour. Punch it in a little bit. That's not going to work. Yeah, we could probably do, okay. On the 4 hour, a shorter term, more aggressive trade shouldn't be in there more than a day or so. I can find a trade on it, but not a longer term. You already got in, okay. Oh, that's right. I think you talked to me about it. Yeah, you're already in. So you'd be in a profit. I think you mentioned that was your idea originally. Yeah. So well done. So you're already in a profit. Good. Now, from a 4-hour perspective, there's a possibility. So I'm going to put it up here and see what you guys think. I like it in the 4-hour, but not a longer term one. And the TP you can put down here, 85.10, call it. That's good enough risk reward, $90 a micro. I don't want to put any tighter because where it is now, it's got to break above there, break above there, break above there, break above there to get stopped out. So there's quite a few hurdles protecting you. So I don't want to get the stop any tighter, but even $90 is not bad a risk. That's why I say, guys, please, you want to trade properly, you cannot, repeat, cannot trade with a few $100 in your account. Don't care what the sales guy, YouTube, Instagram says or what you say in your head. Because you're going to be continually overexposed. You know, if really, I mean, $90 a micro, just going one micro, you need basically 1,000 rand or 900 rand or more, because otherwise you're going over 10%, which is overexposed in your particular, yeah, if you take that risk. So you must get the idea of understanding the basic maths behind it. But okay, so this one, guys, anyone about $1,000 or more can go for it. And if you've got more, obviously go a bigger position, depending on what you want to risk. To me, that's fairly straightforward, but some people, I don't know, think they battle that, so I'm putting that up. Okay, so from that point of view, what do you think, guys?
Morning, Roger.
Morning.
I was actually thinking about talking about this trade this morning. It
Yeah.
looks like it's pulling back again towards the 8,600 level. Shouldn't everyone rather wait till that point again? Otherwise, it's like trying to get on a ship that already sailed.
8,600. Where's 8,600? Up there. I don't know. On the 15-minute chart, the sellers are coming in every time it hits the 100 times 15 moving average. I don't know. It's up to you. What do you want to do on that?
Because I'm already in. So that's why I wanted to suggest people, because I'm seeing it's pulling back a bit, but I don't know how far it will pull back.
I don't know about that. It seems it might do, of course. I'm not so sure. I mean, I don't have a problem going at market. It seems to be okay. I mean, it's not the trade of the century, but it's not bad. Pietro's in. Anyone like to try it? Plus minus $100 a micro. But yeah, as Adam said, you know, he's been caring there. He's already in. He's laughing. He's already up 40 pips. But from that point of view, you can actually move your stop to break even if you want. Take all the risk out of the trade. But more I look at it, it's not bad. Not bad at all. On the 4-hour, we're doing on that basis. You see what I mean on the 4-hour? So Pietro likes it. Anybody else like it? I'll put it down if anybody else likes it. But the rules, by the way, not the rules, it's more of a fun rule. But anyway, what I try and do is 2 people or more take it. I write it down as a trade idea. Often, if I think it's great, I'll put it out anyway. But if 4 or 5 people like it, that's why I'll put it out to the office to see if they like it and post to everybody. Because I find often together, moral support, discussing it with several people, we can often come up with even better trade ideas than often one can on one own. So like it, it'll good for my USD account. Okay, so Andili likes it and Pietro likes it. So I'll put it down, see how it goes from there. Okay. If anybody else likes it, I'll post it on the group. Did any other one like it? I'm going to be honest now and say I like it and then not go in. And I don't need a demo either. What are we getting in at? Oh, 8. Sorry, I'm just writing it down for what I'm doing. 8, 5, 10. And that's $100 and 150. Right. I think it's getting the stage here. You might have missed it if you haven't taken it. It's going below 1.5. We can still do it if you want, but it needed to get it a couple of pips higher when we first put it out. Okay. It's not include the CAD. That makes a pleasant change. Yeah. Hey, yeah. Otherwise we have 4 out. Okay. Well, yeah. So it's a little bit risk reward. It's not that kosher at the moment. Vertically, a little bit higher at the 78 month on the sell, not the buy, the sell. Remember, the difference is the spread. So on the sell or the bid, we're not get 85.78. Good. So anybody else want to do it or not? Just have to say yes if anyone wants to do it. If they don't say anything, I'm assuming no one else is going to do it. Well, if you think Leeds was a buy, that's a different ball game altogether. Anyone else want to go for a buy on this one? Well, put it down as a buy if you guys want to do it and see how it works out. Anybody want to do a buy on this one? You're going to wait on it. Okay. Nobody else wants to do it. Okay. Please interact, guys. I say it every time and people don't. And then to make it work, I need to know what's going on. So just say yes or no. You're in for a sell, Vicky. Thank you. Just interact. Okay, fair enough, Henry. All right, we'll move on then. Okay. A sell. Cecil's happy with a sell. We've got a few people like it. I'll put, actually, I might put it out. There's a few people like it. Put it back up again. Well, slightly better than that, so I'm going to put an opinion there. Make it 0.8580, just to get a slightly better risk reward. TP is 86.20. That's on short, sorry. 0.8620. And this one is 0.8510. Better. See if they like this. We're going to copy and paste and put on the company app, a WhatsApp, and then if the company wants to send it, they will. Right, sorted. Okay, just knock that off. Right, go for a couple of trades we got out at the moment. We do that every day, you guys. Just we get a trade out the day before. Just do a little recap, see how they're going. We got in at Brent around about the 82.30 mark. It's up 60 cents. It's going in the right direction. A bit too soon to start playing around with your stop loss, but at least it's going in the right direction. Not too bad. Okay. We also, some guys took WTI at 78.70. That's the trading room guys. 78.70. That's also 79.33. Clearly in the right direction. for our point of view. Yesterday's trade's a bit iffy at the moment, so the capital will come right. AUD CAD could be a bit prettier. It's down a little bit. We want to go, well, it's up a bit, and we wanted to go down basically. So at the moment, it's just under 20 pips or so in the negative, but maybe it'll come right. NZD CAD, a little bit iffy as well. NZD CAD. Please send that. Okay, I'll give the details. Okay. Just give me a second. I'll do the details here. Euro GBP. You're in your second size, so I stood it. Sorry, I made a mistake there. I finished it. That's 90, 290, 90 is 370. Minus 500, 660. Okay, sorted. Sorry about that. Okay, I had to do that and concentrate, otherwise it all comes out of typo gobbledygook. My mind goes a little bit quicker, my one finger typing, so concentrate a bit there. Okay, right. Where were we? AUD CAD. Hope it'll come right. NZD CAD is the other one. That's all right. Gold. So in gold, well, trading, not sent out to everyone. The trading guys got down to about 1960. $10 in profit. We've got Powell speaking tonight. So if you're in that trade and you got about 1960, suggest you get your stop loss up to protect you. If Powell comes right for gold, you'll make a lot of money. If he doesn't, you'll break even. What a pleasure. You're taking out the risk as per normal. Okay, let's go. Gerard, gotta go. Okay, thanks for updating, Ivan. Okay, fair enough. Okay, but still, I think it's a 2-star. Remind me, much better copy and paste the calendar for the guys. Okay, economic calendar for the guys. So make sure you take the risk out by getting it up to your break-even area. But that's going okay. That's pretty good. NZD CAD, we'll get there in the end. NZD CAD, we've got that 81 there, not so pretty at the moment. It's about 25, just plus minus in profit, sorry, in the down, but it might come right. Stick with your strategy, hope it'll come right. We did one, the trading room. I think left. I don't know how many people did it. I actually did it myself. The trading myself, quite an aggressive one. 853.97. It's now 53.63 because you're getting out on the buy. So that's 30 pips in profit. So I might just bring it down. Just make sure. Just bring it down. There's my stop loss. Bring it down here, I think. Don't forget, modify your stop loss. Just there. Take all risk out of it. So I'm protected now. Like I say, don't stare at it all day. That's why I've got it hidden down there. I don't want to stare at it all day because it plays the mind. Okay, it's going to send the trade idea out. post on the VIP group. Okay. Yeah, that's one we did yesterday. That's right. I'm going now. What do you mean NZDCHF? Please, when you write on a forex pair, please give me more information. It's like me putting up META dot. Yeah, you know, what do you have for breakfast? What's that to do with the price of eggs? You get the idea. So I need to know, what do you mean NZDCHF? I do know it exists. I need a bit more than that. So tell me, I'm in it. Do I go into it? I would like to go into it. I want to sell it. You know, just a little bit of info on it. I can put up euro dollar, but that doesn't mean anything. If you see what I mean. In fact, I can't read your mind. I need be more forthcoming. That's all I'm trying to get through to people. Be more forthcoming. We're not giving away state secrets here. Don't let me take time dragging it out. It seems quite a common thing. Okay, should we modify 94? I thought, well, I'm modified to it's below mine. I'll just check it. Yeah, about that. Yeah, you can do that. That should be fine. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. 30 minutes away. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. Right. So that's anyone who did that one. Pretty good. That's going quite nicely. I think that's all we've got open at the moment. If there's anything else you wanted to look at, you can. Is that we can take it from there. Okay, let's try to through this thing. Okay. AUD CAD we had a couple of days ago. I think this was on Monday. Don't know if anyone's still in. What happened to that one? AUD CAD, a bit iffy as well. So yeah, we'll just mention that as well. So yeah, NZD CHF, we discussed that. Modify if you like, yeah. AUD NZD for a buy. Good question. I think that Aussie is a little bit stronger than New Zealand dollar at the moment anyway. I was looking at this particularly. I wanted to figure out why he's saying that is because it is above the 50 on the daily chart and the 200 moving average, also the 100 and also the 10. So at the moment, yes, it looks like more upside than downside. So what we can try a Fibonacci retracement. Everyone should know how that works. That part of the stock market college package where you're taught what all these things mean, I presume. Okay, it came down at the 38.2. Doesn't tell me much more than that. It's hovering a little bit. So I'll take that out of the way. Now I want to see how much meat's on the bone. If you're going to buy it, 60 pips. It hasn't broken outside that range for 1, 2, 3, 4 days. And it's a pretty tight range of 60 pips. You're taking 2 or 3 pips spread and a stop loss. We'll put the stop loss down here. So I'm going to suggest if you like it, we can maybe do a very, very sort of arranged trade, almost scalping, very tight stop loss, tight TP, quite a high risk, that sort of thing. Not for the faint-hearted, maybe the beginners might be a bit nervous, but where Ivan's coming from on purely on a technical basis, yes, there should be some upside on a range basis. Okay, so it's quite like it if you understand what I mean. This is a high risk, very short term, very tight stop loss TP. So be aware of that when you're going in. Okay, no, it's all high risk. It's even high risk, more high risk than normal. Okay. Just going to post this. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of this? I'll put it up to show you. Probably might be easier for you. Yeah, it's yeah. For the more conservative, I would be a little bit careful. And they're pretty similar currencies as well from that part of the world. Let's make sure we're in the right place. It's too got to really tight this one. TP put up here 1.0920. $1.0920, that's not going to work. So you have to really tight stop up here. That's not right. Something gone wrong there. Why is it 1.15? Might have missed it already. I think it might be given it a miss. You're not going to get a risk reward. Trying to put the TP higher up there is pushing your luck a bit. I think leave it alone. You're nervous, Nikki. Now I am. Leave it alone. It's not so much aggressive. It's going in now. It's actually foolhardy. Okay. That's being foolhardy. Leave it alone. Okay. I'm not going to play around with it just to try and make a trade. In other words, play around the lines of trade to fit into my narrative is not a cool way of going about it. Leave it alone. Just accept the fact you can find other ideas and take from there. Okay, so you're all with me on that one. Yeah. Okay, I just want to, why do you think any trade idea, any questions? What I want to do now is just going to post the economic calendar and the dollar index, etc., for you all. Just 1 minute. Yeah, if you don't have it, clearly copy and paste it. That's the right, do the dollar index. There you are. So you got economic calendar, you got my number, you got the dollar index. There you are. So you can do that. What do you think about them sell? No, things look good for short. I've been saying for a while, it still goes up. EUR/AUD, we'll look at that in a minute. Just gonna do this first. Let's write it down. EUR, in case I missed it. Right, the NAS. Well, first of all, I wouldn't touch it right now. This will be affected by Powell tonight, and that's only what 8 hours time, 2000, sorry, 10 hours time. Where's this? Here we are. Pardon? Here we are. Yeah, I've been saying it's a bit high for a while, but so much good news has come out. There's quite a few earnings coming out on the tech stocks as well, which make up the NASDAQ 100. We've got Powell speaking again tonight. I'll be honest with you, Martin. You're a braver man than me if you're going to go to the NASDAQ, buy or sell. I've been like this for. It can be brilliant. We'll find brilliant opportunities in the future, but don't jump the gun. Be patient on this. I would strongly suggest you leave it alone for the time being. 2 reasons again, so you understand. Jerome Powell, interest rate decision, the US, 8 o'clock tonight. He's the chairman of the Federal Reserve. And as I say, there's some key earnings coming out on some major stocks that make up the NASDAQ, big ones. Get all of them now. Meta, I think, is one of many, a few of them. So I wouldn't be doing this at the moment. My personal suggestion. Okay, Martin, great stuff. Thanks for the question, anyway. That's what I want people to do. Too many people either nervous or think it's going to happen without asking, and then they make a mistake, and it's a pity. Don't need to do that. Okay, so leave that alone. EUR/AUD for the buy. On a bit of a profit, okay. The NAS lead, we discussed that EUR/AUD. If anyone disagrees with me and thinks it's a great trade, we'll put the R up, and I would love to hear their arguments for it. And I say we all learn. What a good idea. I missed that. Okay, EUR/AUD for a buy. Right. Now, with a bit of practice, you can look at that chart and you can change gear, driving a motor car without thinking about it, with a bit of practice. I've done that, and I can look at that and see immediately where Ivan's coming from. Can everybody see there where Ivan's coming from? Or do you think it should be a sell? You see what I mean? Hope everyone can see where he's coming from. He sees the 200, he sees the 100, he sees the 50, he sees it come back, hit that. It's been held at that level, almost exactly on that level. It's held that for a while, so he's looking to buy it. I'm going to more, you can see the practice immediately, but I'm just going into details so you can get to that stage as well. Now, the next thing, how far has that ship sailed? Let's check the distance. 68 pips. And we've got to put the stop below there. So we're going to have to put the stop down here somewhere. We're talking maybe 100 or maybe a little bit more pips. What is the potential profit up to there? We can squeeze it about 1.5, 1.6 risk reward. But that's what he's looking at. Now, just look at the longer term. Any problems on the longer term? All in the buy zone. Come back to support, no problem. A backup, we're getting a bit more backup on the weekly. The 4 hour, it's in the neutral. I get that. So it's 2.5 to buy it. And a bit of indecision the last few hours. Let's have a look at the hourly. Right, it's a bit of a problem on the hourly because these work on all charts. So what I'm going to say to you is this, Ivan and guys, well done. I like the trade idea, but I'm going to put my little 2 pennies in and say, I would like to buy that where my crosshair is, like a pending buy. What do you think of that? Which is your idea, Ivan. What do you think of that? Do you want to go in now, or do you think maybe look at that round about that level? But nicely spotted. No, guys, what do you think? You're not muted?
Incoming mail.
Okay. So, Ivan, you'd like to get at that price. Anybody else like the look of this as a pending order around the 6332 mark? You like as well, Nikki? You come up with some good stuff, Nikki. Don't embarrass you any more than I did yesterday. I would say I was quite impressed with that. A couple of things you're coming up with a beginner was pretty good. Well done. I like it. So it seems to be we're going looking for it. Yeah. Don't feel different to me, Nikki. I can take all the comments you want to dish out. It doesn't embarrass me in the slightest. Where are we? Let's get on track here. We want to do a pending order. We're going to go 1.63. Make it 3.5. There we are. To exact otherwise. We can put the stop loss in at on the hour. It's really going to help matters. Daily. Stop loss then down here. That's not a bad stop then, you see. 62.50. 1.6250. And then the TP we can put back up here. 65.28. You can even make a bit of a wider stop if you like, down here. Is that too wide? No, it's not. Look at it's only 128 bucks. Yeah, a little bit lower than that. It's pretty wide, rather than too tight. I'm just going to move it on the 1 hour, make life easier. Try that. Sorry, I want to make, we don't want to make much 1.26. Where is it now? 20, 1.2620. Put the wrong way around there. No wonder it's the maggots. I do beg your pardon. Sorry, guys. It's a short. No, a buyer, right? Sorry, trying to do 2 things at once. Beg your pardon. So, I'm just trying to get this a bit lower if you want to faffing around here. Just want out the way of these guys here. Good. That's fine. Great. 174. That's just fine. There, you can move to that. Perfect. That's good. All right. There you are. Pending order at 16335. What do you like it? Ivan likes it. Hope you do. It's your idea. See, I like the trading room. See, we all share ideas here. Are we happy with that? I'm going to put it down because you all said so. That's fine. Pending Euro AUD. $1.6335. 1.622, 1.246, 1.6532. It's 130 and 235. Martin likes it. Ivan clearly likes it. Nikki, what do you think? Pietro likes it. Nikki likes it, mentioned up there. Anybody else like it? In fact, I like it so much myself, I'm going to post it, whether you like it or not. You are AUD. Looks good, hey, Solly? Yeah. Okay, right, sorted. We can come back a bit. That was actually Harold's left. It's actually his idea in the first place. So nice one. Okay, one really likes it. Vicky's definitely going to give it a try for stuff. Okay, shares we're leaving alone. We'll look at them tomorrow. I've got a couple of ideas. Disney is one of them. We'll leave for the moment. CAD JPY is pulling back a bit. We hit the TP on that one pretty good. We'll keep an eye on that one. I'll get a bit of a better price. This one I really like. I want to get a better price. If we only get a better price, we'll do that one right about this level here. So it needs to pull back. I won't be chasing it now. No, it's better. Okay, let's have a look at Brent. We've got that out. Yeah. 82.80. It's okay. It's not flying. It's going to be a bit quiet. Okay, it's going to track what's the level. So just give me a second. 1.1, 130, and 235. No. Just give me a second, guys. I've got to come through. I'll give a gobbledygook job. Where are we now? 260. $70. Six, no, 700, 705. For 520. 940. Right, that's posted. Good. So yeah. The problem is he might not send it out just like if he likes it, because you're a bit more knowledgeable because you take the trouble to attend the trading room. A lot of guys don't see it's a pending, let's jump in without actually looking at the signal properly. So we're going to probably send out if we get a better price, not too far away from the actual market price. Euro NZD. View the Euro AUD. Yeah, I'll put the signal on there so you can look at it. It's just a second. Just copy and paste it on for you. There you are. There's a signal posted. Hopefully you'll be able to see it all right there. It's a pending order anyway. Where you are at NZD? You are NZD. in the buy zone. The 10 days give me a bit of grief. Yesterday went up, no follow through. Today went up, no follow through. I'll be honest, I look at this far more favorably because we've done the AUD. I think NZD is slightly weaker. It was mentioned to buy the Aussie against the Kiwi. So if you like a buy in the Euro Aussie, clearly EUR NZD should be more favorable. Having said that, I think I would personally like to buy, let's put it like the other pending order. I like to buy a pullback. It's at the round figure 1.78 at the moment. If you come off 30 pips and bounce, then I would definitely be for it. I don't think I'll be chasing it right now. Okay. Needs to pull back a bit for me on that one. That's my opinion. Anyway, anybody disagree? Anybody agree? Any thoughts? Remember, we'll have our opinions. We're all learning, so we can interact and all gain value that way. What do you think, guys? Well, no comments? That's what I'm thinking, Nikki. Quite right. That's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I wouldn't be chasing there. The 10's getting in the way. There's no follow through today, and it's only 10 hours old today. No follow through yesterday. I'd be far more confident if we came down here and then bounced. Okay, you're getting right about there. Stop loss down here somewhere, and then you can take it up there or whatever. So I'm going to wait on this one. You're hesitant as well. Anna Marie's pretty. Was going to leave it alone. Same thing. So Nikki, somewhere in the middle, agreed. So, are we all agree then? Good idea, but try and get a better price.
Just out of interest, Roger, I've been watching this one for a while since what's today? Since Monday, and we all thought it was going to go up. Then it went downwards, and I'm glad we didn't go in. Others we would have made a loss on this one.
Okay, well that's good news because you didn't make a loss. In fact, you in a way you made a profit. You would have gone in and lost 100 grand. So you put it this way, psychologically, you made a profit by not going in. Well
Yeah.
done. Yeah. Okay. Fair comment. Good. Okay. So we all agree then. We like the look of it. If we don't like it, why are we going for the AUD one? Same principle. So we all like it, but we're going to get a better price. It's not miles and miles away. It's only 30 odd pips away. So give it a chance. Be patient. I'm me telling you that. I'm the world's most impatient person. It's a bit rich coming from me, but we can all maybe hold hands together and say each day, I will be more patient. So let's see if we can do that. It's accumulating at the moment. Well, that sounds a bit fancy for me. I'm Anna Marie's term. It's crabbing at the moment. I like that one. Good. Right. Just before I think anything else I want to mention, I'll try and make a habit of doing. Don't forget to save your charts. Right click on the blank part of your chart, go to templates, save the template, and then just, well, obviously put your name in there and then save it. So if you do lose your chart, you write, not this chart, but all the charts. Okay, just any chart, doesn't really matter which one. And then you just right click, go to templates, and then click on the template, and it's up and running again. Oh, that's all good. Don't forget specifications, contract value, margin, all that sort of information. Left click on the instrument of choice, right click, then left click, and it gives you the contract value, the spreads, deposit, margin, whatever, all there. Don't forget, all the information is there. And it's imperative you know what that information means. I mean, you're paying a lot of money for stock market college, which a lot of money, you don't use it. It's fantastic value if you make use of it. And so mine as well. That's what you're paying for, to gain that knowledge. And then go to the classes or whatever, interact. All on the learning management system, but each day is a class. And you can ask a quick question in those classes just to clarify. So when you get anything, what the hell does that mean? Write it down. go to class and ask me. You get the idea. Only thing is, I don't want to hold up 70% of the class going over something they've already been taught to know, because it's, you know, they want to move on. Diplomatically, see what I mean? You can't hold up the whole of the university mathematics class because the guy doesn't know what 2 and 2 is 4 is. That's when you go to the preschool. Okay, only have 3 more to go. Can we look at platinum or sell next? No, none about that, mate. I've taken it off, actually. I don't encourage platinum. The deposit margin is too high. We'll look at it anyway. That's just interesting. Talking of sort of special occasions, but nice timing that. Right, left click, highlight it, then you right click, left click on specification, and that's my, this is a 500 to 1, on 100 to 1, it's even higher, because that should be 0.002 on a 5 to 1, it's 0.02. So and this one on the 5 to 1 is about 80 to 1, so you're probably getting about 9 or something to 1 leverage. Look, I can't remember how much money you got in your account either. But the problem with a high deposit, it means you're going to have very little free margin left over to trade elsewhere because it's all tied up. You get the money back, but it's just a deposit, you get it back. But it just means you're tying up your free margin in one instrument. And it can be quite slow, platinum, and you might not be able to trade because all your money's stuck in this thing. And if it comes as a profit, you could have had, you know, in 2 or 3 other areas. Are you all with me on the maths on that? Deposit being higher means you're going to give you cash flow problems unless you've got 20, 30, 40K or above in your account. And then that's not really a material factor. Okay, just bear that in mind. Always remember, you've got to have free margin. You've got to have cash flow. It's no good putting all the money into the business. What are you going to live on, sort of thing? So remember, free cash flow, free margin, whatever you like to call it, as long as you've got the concept. And if you've got small amounts, unfortunately, it seems to be predominant with our clients in South Africa anyway, small amounts, so they have a little bit of their hands tied, so be it. So you just got to watch that. And platinum, for that reason, is a high deposit. Now, if you're 100 to 1 account, open it up, go to specification, divide the margin 100, you'll see that the leverage is very small, which means very high deposit, which means it will cut into your cash flow. Hope that will make sense. You good with that, Ivan? Everyone okay with that? Because it seems to be getting a problem. The guys are just not getting the concept of the margin and leverage and what it means, contract size. Nothing wrong with it, but you've got to understand the concept. Okay, no questions. We're all good with that. I do, but can't get over bloody.
Incoming mail.
Send it out. You got it first. Something like that. Beg your pardon. Chain VIP got supposed to got it first. Beg your pardon. Too busy talking, yeah. No, it is. I have to send it out. Beg your pardon. Beg your pardon. I put this here. Sorry, give me a second. 3 things at once where the typos come in. Euro AUD. Euro GBP. You haven't, no, I thought I hadn't. Beg your pardon. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I was doing that this morning. I love that one. It's just getting the right right entry, and is there enough meat on the bones? I'll show what I mean. Here's a little tip, guys. At the moment, it might change. I always update you, or remind me to update you by interacting. But at the moment, keep a good eye on its CHF. Opportunities on buying the Swiss franc at the moment are pretty good if you get a decent entry. So that's my problem. Let's go to the monthly. See what I mean? That's not even a body. It's just probably a fundamental. I don't push it down there, and that's only 120 pips away. You get my point. And that was back in July last year, a year ago. And then it hasn't been that. Has it ever been back? Well, not on our charts, it hasn't. It might be on the longer term charts. But yeah, so that, you get my point. That's the problem. Where we're going to put the, maybe use the extension, Fibonacci extension to try and get a hold of a target. But that's my issue, where we're going to target from. And it looks like when it's come off in the daily, the buyers are coming in. There's indecision. They don't want to be selling the Swiss franc, but they're worried as if it's overbought against the euro at this level. So that's the reason why I did discuss it this morning, or even put it up at the chat in our own meeting this morning at Harper State. I didn't discuss it for those reasons. I don't think I put it that well, actually, so I hope you get some idea what I was talking about there. I think the most elegant, articulate way of putting it, but are we on page what I'm on about? Where's your target? I'm nervous about it. Remember, emotions come into it. If I'm nervous about it, you're nervous, or other people are nervous about it, you might get a bit of lower volume of trading it. Don't want to buy the bloody thing because it's selling the franc, but let's think the franc is a little bit heavy, overcooked at the moment. So for that reason, I'm going to sit tight, but I will be selling it if we can get a decent price. I hope that all makes better sense in my first attempt at explaining it. Okay, you see what I mean, solid. Fantastic. Okay. You want to go Hang Seng and Nikkei for a buy. Okay. Then you've got Nikkei, might have to load it. Nikkei. Haven't got it on here, okay? I've never traded the Hang Seng, by the way. I think about once or twice in Nikkei. That's why I don't keep it on there. Hang Seng. Okay, so we'll start with the Nikkei because it's in alphabetical order. I'll tell you why I'm not keen about looking at, just get up first. Why I'm not that keen on the Nikkei, this reason here. Most, not exactly, but most of the world's markets follow the American indices. Now, if you go to specifications, like I mentioned, so this guy here, you'll see the contract size here is 10. Right? It's 32,580. So one standard lot has an exposure of $32,580. What's that in rands? That's just over 6 million rand exposure on one, 600,000 on the mini, and 60,000 exposure on a micro. So clearly nobody can do this particular one. I'll show you what I mean. It might be easier if I showed you. Okay. And because it's not an American one, the leverage is a bit high as well. So again, the leverage the leverage is a bit lower, the margin is a bit high, it'll tear out your money. So we don't have a micro on this one. So I'll show you where we're going to put the stop. It's on the daily. I want to put it down here. Now we're talking in the region of about $550. It's about 8 to 850 rand per micro. If you get your position sizing volumes right as a risk as a percentage of your capital, you can't really trade this unless you have a minimum balance of 15 grand upwards. Also, you've got to make sure, even if you've got not many open trades, because it's going to take up your margin, because it's not only high rated, its margin's going to be higher, so you won't take up a lot of your cash flow. And and it follows the Americans. Rather go for the NAS or the Dow on a micro. And even if you've got enough money, like 40, 50 grand, and you've got plenty of free margin, why would you do the Nikkei anyway? You can go straight to the NAS and the Dow, which are better ones to trade. So for that reason, I'm strongly suggesting leave it alone. But the person asking might not have been aware of that. Now, I don't know how much money you've got in your account, Ivan. You probably want to broadcast it over here. But if you've got 15 grand or less, don't touch it. Okay. And if you have got more than that, you can, but I suggest better do the NAS. And You don't have to do the micro on the NAS. You've got decent money. I never do the micro. I do the normal one for that reason, because I've got enough free margin. But I hope that makes sense what I'm saying. So guys, remember, don't touch the Nikkei below 15 grand, and rather go for the NAS. But if you've got more than that, still go for the NAS or the Dow. They follow it. You know, it's like saying, why go out with a drag guy? Why not go out the real thing, sort of thing? Yeah, why go out the guy in a dress? Why not go out the real thing? So, but basically, bottom line is not keen. So there. Now we can look at the Hang Seng, also contract at 10. So I'm not keen for that reason. It's got its ups and downs, but look, we're talking it's more expensive than NASDAQ. So NASDAQ's about 15,000. This is nearly 20,000. And make absolutely sure it hasn't been changed since our last one a while back. Yeah, still contract size 10. So with that, if you're going to go the NASDAQ, if you're going to sell it, you've got to put the stop up here, which is about 227, call it $30, about 500, 550 Rand. You need a minimum of about 5, 6K in your account to trade this one. Again, why would you trade this when you got, if you've got less than 5 grand, you can't do it. If you've got more than 6 grand or one, why do the Hang Seng? You've got perfectly good, highly liquid Dow and NASDAQ. I can't see there's a point. You know what I mean? It's on there, but I just think you've got better fish to fry. You're not doing yourself a favor. Okay. Before we move into that, Nikki, are we good with the understanding there, either? Well, my point behind it, or anybody there? Do you see where I'm trying to come from? Because I see a lot of people getting into a pickle, trying to get cute with these, not understanding the contract size and the stop loss, and unfortunately, it's just coming and tying them up. Are we all good with that? You're good with that? Okay. If you're not, maybe I didn't explain it correctly or well enough. Ivan or Nikki or someone will help you out if they understand it, maybe a bit more articulate than I put it. Okay, right, GS. Now, remember, guys, Nikki's come up with GS. First thing you should be saying to yourself, GS stock, is that a Forex? No. Is it a commodity? No. Indices? No. So what is it? It's a share. Right. Shares, you do not use this position size calculator. Ivan might help you out if you don't have it by posting on the chat line here. You need the Excel spreadsheet. It's a different calculator, number one. Number two, shares, it's not much. We've got to be aware of it. There's a commission in charge or brokerage charged on that of 0.4%. Clearly not much, but you need to be aware of it. Okay. And number two, the American shares don't open until market in America opens at 3:30 and they close at 10:30. Thanks, Ivan. Okay, so bear that in mind. Okay, so don't try and modify stop loss, place orders, close. You cannot till the market's open 3:30 till 10:30, and it's a share, and the volumes are different. Let's go back to look at the contract side. We're talking about 10 under south on Forex. It's 500 on silver. It's 100 on oil. It's I think it's 1,000 on natural gas. On this one, look at this one. It's only 1. So you do not go when we're 0.2 or 0.1 on this, because you'd be extremely underexposed. You need to go in bigger. So I'm going to show you what I mean. Let's say you want to sell this. All right. Before we do, let's just discuss the trade for if we're going to do that. It might come off. Don't touch shares today. We'll look at it again. Remind me tomorrow. Don't touch shares, indices, NASDAQ, Dow, or gold. In my opinion, go into a new trade because of the release of the Q&A coming at 8 o'clock tonight. Please don't do it. You might get lucky. You might not. If you want to rely on luck, rather go to the casino. Okay, leave it alone. So, could possibly a pullback. I agree with you. I think it might happen. This is Goldman Sachs, you see, the big financial group. But we can look at it if you can remind me, Nikki, tomorrow. But having said that, we've got it up now. So let's say we're going to go for it right this month, for argument's sake. And we're going to put the stop up here. We're going to make it 368. Now, what's the difference? I shall do it in my head for you. You're going to sell at 354, and you're going to make a stop of, let's say, 370, right? That's about $16 difference. The stop loss is 16 US dollars away. What does that mean in Rand English? It means that's one share. If you go in short, you put in one, not 0.1, but 1.0, your risk is $16, which is about what, 300 Rand. So your risk, if you put the stop in at 370, is 300 per 1.0, or 30 Rand per 0.1. So you don't go in 0.01. You get the idea. I hope you're all clear. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do a cheap share so you get the idea better. I've seen guys 0.01 on here. Utter waste of time. If you do 0.01 here and it hits your target, you won't, with the result profit, even be able to buy a box of matches. It's too small. So I'm going to go and buy this one. What I'm going to buy, I have the slightest idea. I don't care. I'm just choosing it for an example. So I'm going to buy this and I'm going to put the stop in, let's say, here. Okay, 12.70. So it's only 89. Call it 90 cents a share. So 90 cents a share is about what? 90 cents, 9 Rand. It's about 16, call it 15 Rand a share. Okay. You go 0.01, your risk on 0.01 is 15, 1 Rand 50, 15 cents. Ridiculous. 15 South African cents. So you clearly won't do it. You'll be going multiples of 1. Does that make sense? And no, it takes a bit, so you put 0.02 or 0.04 or whatever, suddenly put in 20, 50 or 100, to play with your head a bit, you know what I mean? But no, it's the correct one. So read the signal it comes out. If it says 10 shares, the risk is 1,000 Rand, and you can afford 1,000 Rand risk, don't put 0.1, put 10.0. I want to clarify that, guys, because I see a lot of guys battling to get their head around that. So I hope we're all clear on that. They are different, and I hope you now know and understand that. Go over your class, you want more detail. Okay. Right, so GS, I like the idea, even though we hit a bad one the other day on it, doesn't mean to say the next one will be bad. Look at the Swiss franc JPY. Got stopped out once, and we had a boot the next time round. We not with all the money back, we made a profit on it as well. So a good chance of GS maybe, depending on what happens tomorrow, as a possible. Okay, we'll look at it then. That's correct, unless you've got a commissions account. But if you're in a spreads account, you just that's the brokerage, the spread. Let's get a goal. The difference in the buy and sell price is your top. That's why you get in at this, you get out of that. That's your top, and that's right. You have the commission on there. So you do have commission the other ones, but if you don't want commission, you just go to the portal, go to open another account, like you did in the first place. Just open another account, and this time choose the options, which will be a spreads, not a commission. You can transfer your money. You don't have to put more money in if you don't want. Great if you can, but if you can't, you can transfer money on the portal from your commission to your spread. It's up to you. It's all on the portal. If you're still not sure, you can phone your sales guy. Used to call them account manager. Got some other name now. I'm not sure what it is. So stick with the AM, account manager. Just call your account manager and they'll give you a hand on that. But are we all clear on that? As I said, you've got a spreads account, quite rightly, the only commission will be on the CFD share. No idea. It's been that way for a good question, actually. Internationally, it's been that way for a long time for some reason. Oh, yes, that's right. I remember now. Because to be fair, lately, the tech stocks have been very volatile, but normally shares are swing trade. In other words, I'm being honest with you, purely from a broker's business point, to be honest, Nikki. So often in shares, a lot of guys are in for 2 or 3 weeks, sometimes longer. I remember we had JSE shares, guys trading ShopRite, defensive stock, could be in there 6 weeks. So it just costs more for shelf life. To be on the shelf, you're not moving on and off the shelf. Time is money, and that's the reason why. Okay, to be fair, a lot of these tech stocks are quite quick, but it's just stuck for that reason why there's commission. Just for shelf life. If I'm getting the product in and out quickly, I'm not getting it's cheaper cost. If it's sitting on my shelf and not moving, it's actually costing money sitting on the shelf. So I'm going to make up for that by maybe charging a higher price, you like. So that's the reason. It's swing trading, which basically means longer term, And as a result, that's why we have a bit of commission to cover those shelf costs, if that makes sense. Okay. But it's pretty minute, a lot different than the JSE share we traded in. And I was a great advocate to stop it, because you not only had to pay 95 Rand per month for the sheer privilege, the JSE, not of us, for having that data from the JSE. And even if you're not trading it, you still got to pay it on top of the cost of a hire. So it was prohibitive for people to do it below 5 grand. And if you got 2 grand in your account, 90, put it 100 Rand a month, that's 1,200 a year. So you're paying 60%, you've got to make 60% per year on 2 grand just to pay for 95 Rand a month data fee, which you can't use in the first place. And guys, because I don't be rude, they don't teach maths over here, just weren't grasping this. So we thought to save some trouble, we just took it away. Does that make sense? So you don't have that issue there, because you don't have that data, it's already there, and it's very, very, very small commissions in comparison. Okay, all right, hope that's clear. Okay, no problem, Anna-Marie, catch you tomorrow. Okay, Nikki, is that all clear what I'm saying? I hope everyone else, are we all clear on that? It's very important you understand that. Just nodding your head, not understand it, could mean you make a mistake next time. Okay. Shares, +3 opening, +10 closed, don't modify, can't place trade, can't do spot till it opens. Wait till, obviously have to wait, see what the price opening, check the signal, check the ship hasn't sold on opening, and don't forget, size of the volume is much higher because the contract size is smaller, and you need a spreadsheet Excel, which I'm very kindly posted for you. Keep a note of that, but you should be able to get anyway from the LMS. If you're not sure, just go to the live chat, go to academic support and say, where do I find it? And they'll tell you. I don't have access to LMS. It's Stock Market College. It's a separate company. I don't get involved in that. I'm involved with helping the guys once they've got the learning from SMC with the advice to actually start making practical use of that knowledge. But we're all clear. Which is vital, Nikki. Everybody must be aware of this. The chairman of the United States Federal Reserve is a guy called Jerome Powell, and he's basically financially probably the most powerful, well, probably is the most powerful person on the planet. Okay, and right, so he is going to make an interest rate announcement at 8 o'clock tonight, and that will affect the dollar. Right, you say, what about doing a straddle trade? You can, be very quick. I suggest you don't, because he might not announce it straight on there. He might have a little bit of a chit chat before he announces it, and the markets will be jumping around on what he says. Any little nugget or nuance of what he says, they have big jumps on the market. So that's why everyone's a bit quiet at the moment, and that's why we're not doing dollar, gold, or Nasdaq, because that's important. You might get lucky, might be unlucky. Are you here for luck or for skill? If you're lucky here, go and gamble, go and buy or sell it. You might come right, but you might not. You get the idea. That's very important. Yeah, that's the reason, Nikki. Yeah. You can do other ones, but the problem is, and actually, it wasn't bothering me. It's a good point. I haven't actually pointed out again. Have you done this before for a while? Come up with some pretty spot on stuff. Have you been trading for quite a while, Evan? Maybe you're just an extremely quick bloody learner. But anyway, yeah. Normally on the spot, they should say interest rate release that time, but I have had situations where it's had a bit of a chat and then he gives that information. That's the part that worries me. If on the dot, on the second, on the microsecond, 8 p.m. our time, bang, 0.25% increase as expected, then you can trade it. But if it's not, these chit chats, you could get your straddle shake could get filled before the interest rate announcement. So there you are. Be careful.
No, I actually did trade about 2 years ago, but I bombed my account. So I've been training on a demo account since then and just started recently again.
Okay, thanks for the update. Now interpret what he means there. He's actually really been trained 3 years ago. He's playing on the demo account. Now, the demo clearly is very different to live, as mentioned millions of times, because the emotions involved. Take out the emotion, you take about 80% skill in trading. Having said that, he's kept his hand in on the demo and he spotted stuff going along. That's so that's fair enough. Thanks for updating me on that. Because I mean, even very, very, very clever, quick learners some of the stuff you come out with is clear the guys been doing a little bit longer, a month or two. Okay. These sort of guys actually like the training because it helps me as well. You know, they come up with ideas, they see things, I miss it, you point it out. In other words, that I find them extremely useful from my point of view as well. Okay, and it helps you guys. You need these guys as well. Okay, get three or four people experience. Like I do this in the strategy room in the mornings. 2 or 3 people who know what they're talking about and are more on objective view as well. You put some things you can cut see the wood for the trees sometimes. It puts in better perspective. Right, I'm not speaking that clearly, but I hope you know what I mean. Could be a lot more articulately put, but I hope you know what I mean. Okay, thanks, Ivan. Great to have you. Right. Okay, right. Let's have a check. Don't forget, guys, anybody in gold, and you got it in 1960, it was a trading room. We didn't send it out, don't think we did anyway. The trading room idea. Anybody who took the trading room trade of gold at 1960, get your stop up to maybe 1962, cover your costs or whatever. We don't want you taking a loss on this trade, especially due to something that might happen with Jerome Powell tonight. Then you're protected. Don't get out. You might suddenly zoom up there. If it zooms off, then at least you haven't lost money on it. Hope you all got me on that one. Good. Right. Let's just have a quick trade going to the close. A quick check of our open positions. AUD, CAD, anything happening? Probably a bit quiet. Like I mentioned there, we covered more than I expected. I was a bit wary of this trading room. I thought, oh my, it could be a bit on the boring side. But thank you, guys. You've made my life a lot more fun and easier because the interaction and it's passed quite pleasantly where we've got some valued stuff going. AUD CAD is not pretty at the moment. All I can say is you got your strategy. We're still in it. I hope to goodness gracious it comes right. We shall see. Okay, it's not a train smash. It's 30 pips a negative, but still, we'd rather see obviously in the positive. NZD CHF was a trading room idea, not put out to everybody, and that looks pretty good last I looked. 61 and 97, yeah, that seems to be doing okay. The other one's NZD, also CAD. That's why Ivanor the Herald said, careful, don't get over exposing one instrument, as in this case, a Canadian. It might come right. We're on the daily. It seems to be holding on the daily there. What about the 4 hour? Don't like the 4 hour. Still, it's got a bit of resistance there. Maybe it'll come back. It's not, again, it's not great. Quarter to about 30 pips. Not great, but maybe it'll come back and come right. Okay, but we're still in it. So gold and said, yeah, Chapper and profit. The other two aren't, but the two are in profit, are in more profit. The other ones are down. If you see what I mean, that's not too bad. Now we go to the Brent. Some guys did WTI, so we'll start with the Brent first. That's in a bit of profit, very slow. Brent will be affected by the interest rate decision, so the traders slowed it down quite a bit. That's why it's pretty slow. This is in profit, and WTI is also it's in profit as well. That's also in profit, but a bit quiet, so not too bad. We've just gone in today, GBP CAD. So very exposed to CAD, you're quite right. That one is bloody hell, it's not doing well. Okay, we're having a bit of a problem with the Canadian at the moment, so I hope you're not in 3 different trades. That's overexposed. Beg your pardon. Anyway, just keep your fingers crossed. We've seen some bad ones stuck with a strategy, and then in the end it came up and hit TP. So don't panic on it. I hope it'll come right. Euro GBP was a sell at 78. Slightly in profit, and the other one, EURAUD, was a pending to get in at 35. It hasn't reached that yet, so just keep your fingers crossed. Okay, you're shooting up then. What hit the TP? Did it? Oh, bloody hell. Oh, shut. You're allowed to swear, by the way. If it's a stop loss, you're allowed to swear. Yeah. That's the new rule in the den. 74, you're quite right. Ah, solid. Even ladies are allowed to swear. Even if you've got royal blood, you're allowed to swear. It's a stop loss. It's a new rule for the trading room. What a pity. Damn. Okay, but it's fairly tight. These things happen. So let's move on. Let's not feel too sorry for ourselves. Some of the other traders are okay. So we'll see how they get on. It's going to be a bit quiet. Careful. Remember, put it down a piece of paper in case you forget. Jerome Powell tonight, be wary. And then we discuss what happens tomorrow and then go forward. Hope these trades will come right. Dollar's coming off quite a bit. So that is interesting. That is interesting. The dollar's come off quite a bit, and that's why gold's going up. I wonder why that is. Okay, right. I think leave the bloody CAD for now. Yeah, CAD's been a bit. Yeah, I'm afraid to say, Richard, occasionally you get situations where you get a bogeyman. Remember, was it a couple of years ago? GBP was a bit of a bogeyman. I think this, at the moment, the CAD's a bit of a bogeyman. I agree with you. We've had a few out in the last 6-7 weeks, and they've done some more damage than good. So I think we start to be a little bit wary of the Canadian until we, but not forever. We've got to go back to it sometime because there's a lot of good stuff around there. But I hear you. Okay, right. So we've gone through what we've done at the moment. See how they get on. Before we wrap it up, please don't kill me, but I want to look at any. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I can't. No, it's too much. Oh, with great willpower and strength of character and mind, he goes to it. I'm just joking, guys. I can hear from Finding Victoria yawning already. Nat gas ain't gas, same bloody thing. Right, what do you want to do with this apart from absolutely sod all? No, it doesn't do anything. Look at that. It's not happening. And what's it? I think it's quite a high margin as well. Right, remember it's 1,000. That doesn't matter because it's only $2. It's 1,000 the contract's fair enough. 0.2. So it's 100 to it's 50 to 1 on here. So the end gas is going to be quite a high deposit. So you're going to tie a lot of money up on something that makes snail racing seem pretty exciting. It's up to you guys. You can do your experience. You know how to calculate the work side. If you want to do it, you stick with it. I'm trying to encourage people to leave this thing alone. It's just not happening. People tying their money up, can't go into other trades, it's going nowhere fast.
No, I understand. It was just that I read that a lot of natural gas is produced with oil production, and with the reduction in oil produced in Saudi from next month, I thought it might have an effect on the natural gas price.
Yeah, it might, but it doesn't seem to happen before. We've had oil going up and down quite big ranges as well. It hasn't made much difference. We had a joke in the trading room. Every time you buy your box of matches, you get a cubic litre of natural gas free of charge. Because it's come down. It used to be $10 a cubic litre, now it's $2. And it's been hovering around about the 250, in fact, a little bit lower than that, around about this sort of level. Yeah, about the 250 to about 290 odd for just too long. No, it's just not enough. Look at all indecision candles. There's much better fish to fry. If you've got plenty of money and you look at the long term, you don't mind tying it up, probably would be a buy. I'd be surprised if selling it for a longer period. I think maybe okay. What really stuffed it up a bit was Qatar found some enormous gas reserves and released it on the market, and that's what brought it down, because by far the biggest in the world is Russia, and they're not quite a monopoly on it, but when the war started, obviously that helped it. But then Qatar, QATAI, the country in the Middle East there, suddenly found big reserves, started to release it out and balanced out the sanctions on the gas they had over there. And when we had sanctions, a bit of a farce, everyone breaks the bloody thing. If you need it, you're going to pay it. Money always seems to count, eh? So, no. Up to you, Ivan. You know the score if you want it, fair enough. But the other guys, bit better fish to fry. Okay. Right. I think I've covered everything today. Don't forget 8 o'clock tonight, as I mentioned a dozen times. Catch you again tomorrow morning. I think we call that a bit of a day. We'll check the trades again, keep an eye on them, and be a little bit careful going into any more trades today with the news coming out. On that note, any more questions before we close up the trading room? I'm about to have load shedding. My inverter's on the sodding blink. Courier's supposed to come in today and pick it up and then take it to be fixed. So unfortunately, I will be kicking out at about 11 till it's fixed. So any questions, guys, before we go out and enjoy our fun-filled day?
Roger?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, you know, when you were explaining the shares part, and then could you just repeat the part where you took the cursor and then you showed the level, but then you converted it to dollars and then you converted it to rands? I just
Okay.
lost your parts.
Okay, it's quite simple. I can do the round roughly in my head, just for that. You want to sell this, you're going to put your stop above the high, correct? No problems with that. So let's say we're going to sell it. I'll put the line up, make it a bit easier for you. Where is it now? I'm going to put the stop just above there. That's my stop. I'm going to enter now at this price. What is the difference? It's oh, that's not bad. It's a little bit more than that. Right, if I enter that stop, that's roughly $7.98, call that $8. Are you with me? So I now know that the risk is $8 for 1.01 share. There's 0.4% commission, which is tiny. So to make my life easier, instead of looking, I don't look at the spreadsheet. I just hoy a little bit on top to get an idea. So $8, let's make it off the top end, $8.50. Okay, plus minus. Instead of going to the calculator, so $8.50, that's round about. It might be $8.40 a share, $8.50 will do. So I know the risk $8.50. I know it's 20 will be 170 rand per share risk. I know it's about 18 or just under 17 and a half. So I'm going to say it's about, what's that, 170. I say it's about 150 rand a share. I've just done that off the top of my head. But if you want,
okay.
yeah, you get my
So,
point.
So you take, like, let's say if it's like
No, but
361 points.
Got a better idea. Sorry, Nikki, just 1 second. Do this exercise with me. We're going to buy this one. Never mind why we are. We're going to buy it as an exercise. Right, I'm going to put the stop loss in here. Right, I'm going to put the stop loss in there. Right, I take my cross cursor, you can see that there, and I move it down. With me? What's it say? 248 points. That says you see that two numbers there, that cents. So it's 248 points, it means $2.48. Are you with me? The difference between that is $2.48. Are you with me? Ricky, don't go away.
So do you just move it? So if it's like 248 points,
I've got a better idea. You can't miss it on this one. The price of Nikki Incorporated, a US brilliant company, and I'm going to buy it, right? Nikki Lau Incorporated at $10 per share. I'm going to put my TP at $15 per share, and I'm going to put my stop loss at $8 per share. You got me? Right. What is the difference between 10 and 8?
2.
What is the risk per share?
So then would it be $2?
You get it.
Oh.
Aha. What's $2 in rands? If it's 18 rand exchange rate, it's 36 per share. $2 will say 35 rand a share. Get it? Take your stop loss away from your entry, and that is your risk in dollars. You might want to add a few cents on top, depending for the commissions, and then you go. And if you're in a dollar account, no problem. In a rand account, multiply it by the exchange rate. Simple as that. Everyone got that?
And then I just wanted to ask you, you know, when you move the cursor.
Sorry, I might get kicked out. If I get kicked out, I'm not being rude. We can continue talking, but suddenly disappear. It's load shedding.
Okay, no problem.
Go on. No, I can go on. But just saying, if I suddenly disappear, I'm not being rude. Carry on, Nikki.
Okay, cool. So if you take the cursor and then wherever you put it to, and it's 248 pips points, for example. So that's 24 pips. So then would the dollar be?
No. No, pips are for, let's say, NASDAQ and currencies. If it's gold, let's see, it's gold now. If I'm going to put my stop loss here, the difference 29.53, right? That's $29.53. You get me? So if you're going to shares, go to any share. Let's say we're going to go not for Nikki Incorporated anymore. We're going to do Edwin Incorporated. And he happens to be 100 and make it $80 a share. We do our technical analysis, or I do together, we do it, and you're buying at 80 and your stop loss happens to be at $72.50. Stop loss $72.50 and you're entering $80, right? What is the difference between 80 and 72.50? It's $7.50. That is your risk per share.
Okay, I see, I see.
Got it? Okay, good stuff. All got it, guys? Simple as that. As simple as that. Piece of old tacky head. Okay, guys, fantastic. Again, thanks for interaction. Have a great time and catch you tomorrow morning. Those can make it. Don't forget, those guys who can't make it and want to check what's happened in the trading room, they can go to the portal, scroll down to the bottom of the menu, and you'll see the social media, YouTube. I always post a trading room on there. Hope we're all good. Catch you tomorrow. Thank you very much, Pietro. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, man. Cheers.
Cheers, cheers, cheers. I just like the word cheers. It regards or whatever sounds a bit formal. It's a friendly way of saying